Hello and welcome to another MTR Fab video. This is MTR, and today we're going to talk about screwdrivers, in particular Milwaukee ratcheting screwdrivers. So this is a tool review, and I have no monetary gain. This one right here was $16.97. The smaller version was $14.97. And with that, we'll let the video begin. Really a video about screwdrivers, and I have some examples for you here. These are standard, what I call cheap conventional screwdrivers. So then, if you want to move up in the standard conventional screwdriver world, you get some ergonomics when you go with like a snap-on tool. And these snap-on screwdrivers are super nice, and it's one of the few things that I do recommend that you buy. We're not here to talk about these too much, but there's some sweet stuff that's integrated into the design of these. And as a standard single option screwdriver, there's really none better. So with that said, the only problem is you have to carry sets of them. And if you're on the road, this isn't an option. So this is more a stationary tool. So then you bring into you get into conventional multi screwdrivers. So this is a cheap variant that's pretty common again. You'll see them, and these are fine. They're non-ratcheting. This is a fixed screwdriver. It's got a plastic handle with a rubber overmold, and it's got a bit assortment, and it does 6, 7 things. So this would be a 7-in-1. And the 7th thing being it's a 1/4-inch nut driver because it is a metal shank. But the only issue with these are the bits are small. They tend to fall out of these over time, and then you start to have to look for stuff. So then if you were to move up in another world, you'd go on to something like these Pickwicks. I love these little Pickwicks. They're actually really, really good. I'm going to show you the big one because it's easier. But you take a bit out and you push a bit in the handle, and it extrudes the next bit out. It actually works really well, and unfortunately there is none that I'm aware of that ratchet. So a ratcheting screwdriver is kind of a different thing, and it's not for everyone, but this is a well-used Milwaukee ratcheting 10-in-1. And this was model number 48-22-2302. And I've had this for a long time, and that's actually what we're here to talk about. And we're not even going to talk about exactly that model number. We're going to talk about something very similar. So this is a ratcheting screwdriver I've had for quite a few years. I really enjoy these, and that's what this video is about, is I bought a replacement for this particular one. So as you can see, some of the bits are missing out of the handle. The only two left are the uncommonly used in my world, which are these square drive bits. So with that said, the other bits are in other places, and I do know where they are. They've held out extremely well, but they end up kind of living in other uses. So I will tell you that one of the features that I didn't use a lot, and which is a great feature for an electrician, but here's a wire stripper that's built into the notch. And then here's a loop. Apparently you can make loops in the end of like a Romex solid core copper wire, which would allow you to screw onto an outlet after. Now, I want to talk about the examples of, there are many variants of this. So this I wanted a replacement for. I went to the store. They didn't have that, but they did have this. So this is their 9-in-1. And instead of that 10-in-1 with the wire stripper, this is the 9-in-1. So there's no wire stripper, which was an uncommonly used function for me, and the reason why I chose to buy this variant. I think I paid approximately $25 for this, maybe when I bought it. I remember being kind of thrown off by the price, but this was much more affordable. There's another variant of this, which is this, And you'll see this one labeled as an 8-in-1. So there's no wire loop creator on this nozzle. So if you notice, the ratcheting mechanism is actually shorter on the stubby by quite a bit. And so they omitted the wire loop function. So here they are in the retail package. Here's your 9-in-1. Now, you notice how they're talking about their extended reach. These have longer bits, which is a wonderful thing, especially if you're planning on using them with power tools. It prevents you from having to carry a tool organizer. Same thing with these. These aren't short like the affordable multi-driver variant, non-ratcheting. If you don't like a ratcheting screwdriver, that's fine. What's great about these is you can actually lock the ratchet mechanism out. So there's 3 positions for it. There's, right, left, and then in center, it actually locks the mechanism and it acts like a conventional screwdriver. Yeah, it does have a little bit of free play, but, that's kind of helpful in some instances, actually. So I'm going to get these out of the package. All right, here they are out of the package. And one of the things I immediately noticed that I don't like about the small one that they changed it. But they did change, and I didn't notice it until I got it out of the package, the heel of this screwdriver. So this nub used to be flat, and why I know that is the one I use at work, I commonly sit down like this. I just stand it up, and that's actually one of the things that I loved about this stubby previous version. So I'm actually going to have to look at work if the model number actually changed or if this is a revision, because they're pretty sneaky about these screwdrivers. Like I said, there seems to be quite a few different versions. And with that said, I get why they did it, is because it probably feels better in the hand. So I do know that the one at work is amazing, the amount of torque you can develop with a stubby screwdriver. And part of it is you can hold it bare paw, like over the top of it, which is a more natural turning, and you can bear your weight down on what you're working on. Whereas when you use a screwdriver like this, it's more of a wrist operation, unless you get all the way on the end of it and, crank on it. So I get why they did this, but it took away one of the functions of it that I really liked, and it was that it was stubby, that if you're working in a control box or on a heat control, you could set it, right on top of what you're working on, and it stayed there. With that being said, these screwdrivers are nicely designed, as in this table I'm actually working on is sloped, and as you can see, this one stays there, this one not so easy. So with that said, let's look at some of the features about the bits and why I think these are a bargain. So when you carry a multi-bit like this, the best thing I can tell you is that the bits you're going to commonly use are already there. You're not going to lose them. So this thing just lives in the end of this tool, and it's magnetized. It's not going to fall out. And when you want to change out a bit, you just take this out, and I use the bit I have to push it out. Now, you can use your fingers, but sometimes you'll stab them under your fingernail and it kind of bites. So they've gotten better about this mechanism. It used to be really hard to get these bits in and out, and that would have been my biggest gripe about this design. With the Pickwick type design up here, you actually use the bit to push them in and out. So as you're picking a bit to use, you're storing a bit, and it's a perfect application. Now with the design like this, you can't push them through because there's that ratchet mechanism in front, which is okay. It's just a different way of doing it, and I get it, but they've made it much more manageable. And I can tell you, I've never had one of these just fall out. So they've gotten this mechanism much better. And you just pick the bit out you want, and then you store the old one. So let's talk about why these bits are good. So when you buy one of these multi-bits, you know, you're kind of stuck with what's in the handle unless you could find replacements that are this length, which I'm sure you can. But these happen to be a very good quality. Part of what makes them good quality is they fit screws well. The dimensions on the actual tips are really good. Beyond that, they're chromium plated or chrome plated, whatever they want to call it. They are very resilient. You know, the set I have lasted a very long time, and the tips of them have worn really well. And so has the anvil end, where, you know, I use them in impact tools commonly, and this screwdriver. So that's what I'm talking about. Now you have a screwdriver that's for your hand, but not only that, it has tool bits. I mean, you can slam these in any of your 1/4-inch tool drivers. The other thing is they're stamped. So you know exactly what the size is, and if you wanted to replace it, you know, there's their part number. But these are really nice. They're great because they fit in the chucks. So this isn't really a one-handed operation here, but I'm gonna try. Can't seem to get it out here. All right. So there's an example of, you know, that shoulder is the same as that shoulder. So when you get bits off a cheap driver like this, they're not necessarily power tool serviceable. So that guy would go in that tip, but it would disappear all the way up to here. I'd have to pull it out with pliers, and it would only stay in there if I had a mag in there, which I don't have, I think, in this particular setup. So that's why these slightly longer variant bits, like that come with the stubby, are excellent for your drivers. So if you have any of these little guns and you carry these screwdrivers around, you're all set. Now you've got, and this is a new version. Why I said that chuck on that one was bad is because this is really a dream. Like, Milwaukee does A+ on that. That's a one-handed operation right there. 100%. So they're headed in the right direction, but the example there is all the Milwaukee bits that I'm talking about that come with these tools are directly compatible with their power tools. And, you know, I've had pretty good luck. I don't think they claim that they're impact rated, and I wouldn't use them in like a big impact, but something like these little impact driver assembly drivers are perfect to use with these bits. So the two do come with different assortments of bits. You'll have to look. As you could see with the original one that I have here, this one is missing everything but the square drives. And I've used the square drives. You can see they're worn. I just don't use them a lot, especially the bigger size for whatever reason. So with that said, I think I would get more utilization out of the star bits that are down in here. And I do. At my work driver, I use pretty much all of these bits. And so I think the actual selection of tips in the smaller driver is a better solution than the ones in the bigger driver. So that said, the durability of these things is excellent. I've put quite a few hours in pocket drops and service on this one. And I have another one of these somewhere that I can't seem to find. And so I needed to pick up another one. And while I was there, I got a stubby because I really like the one at work. Milwaukee disappoint me with the end here, but, you know, whatever. It feels good. If you looking for a screwdriver, this is the one to get as far as I'm concerned. You can buy the fixed variants with non-ratcheting, but remember, if you keep it in the center position, that barrel is locked. So, you know, these, I don't bump these a lot. It has gotten a lot easier to turn the ratchet mechanism over time, but it is one of those things that's far enough away in this application that I don't commonly you know, pop it out of gear or switch gears with it. That's a complaint with a lot of people in these ratcheting drivers, but doesn't seem to be an issue for me with this. But again, I've had it for a long time, so I've kind of probably learned to work around it if it was an issue. but I don't think it is. So I think great screwdrivers. If you're looking to buy a $20 tool that has a lot of value, and or you want to give a great gift, either one of these is great. Buy them in pairs. It's cheap enough, and you'll get years of use out of them, I promise. Please like, comment, subscribe. You know, stay tuned for other videos. I do a lot of random things, and this is one of them. So I'm going to do tool reviews. When I do tool reviews, it's about tools I use. So I'm not reviewing stuff I don't have. I have no profit to be gained from it at this point. I'm just about the tools. So thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next video. I'm out.